Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Fpl Consult here, and today we're gonna do a big one. We're gonna do the GW30 Free Hit Team. So this is a strategy that most of us are already planning to do. So most of us actually are planning to use our free hits in GW30. So this is the biggest blank game week that we've seen up till date. So it wouldn't be a surprise for many people to want to use their free hit chip to get themselves out of this situation. So first up, we're gonna start off this video with some things to consider, as you guys can see on the screen, and then after that we're gonna go into a little bit of some fixtures that would influence our strategy of whether we actually want to use the free hit in this week or not. And then after that we'll take a look at some of the fixtures that we have in Game Week 30 and some of the odds, and also who bookies are saying that are gonna win, are gonna keep clean sheets, etc. And that's gonna help us draft our free hit team, which we will talk about closer to the end of this video. So once again, if you guys enjoy the video, help me out and give it a like. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. It massively helps the channel. Really appreciate if you guys can do that for me. But without further ado, let's get on with the video. So on the screen right now are some things to consider. I've put the 4 fixtures up at the top, and you guys can see it's Wolves against Leeds, Aston Villa versus Arsenal, Leicester against Brentford, and Tottenham versus West Ham. So first off, some of the general things that I want to highlight is that these fixtures aren't that great. I mean, if we take a look, these fixtures don't really scream a lot of goals, right? And that's why I would say that I think that Game Week 30 would be a low scoring game week. So I do feel like if we are able to put together about 8 to 9 players for Game Week 30, that may be enough. And if we can get to these 8 or 9 players with just a hit or 2, then definitely I would do that and I would save the chip. And so let's talk a bit about the situations for some of us who have 1 chip left and also 2 free hit chips left. So if you have 1 free hit chip left and if your team is in trouble, I would free hit in Game Week 30, but something to take note of is later on in the next segment I will highlight some of the predicted fixtures, and that may actually play into whether we want to use a free hit in Game Week 30 or not. And then of course, if you guys, as I said just now, can get there with about 1 or 2 hits, then I would save the free hit for Game Week 33 or 37, which I will elaborate later on in the next segment. And for those of you with 2 free hit chips left, you guys are probably in a little bit more of a luxurious position where you can decide if you want to free hit in Game Week 30 to maximize your returns in Game Week 30. So if necessary, definitely you can free hit in Game Week 30 because you have 2 to play with, right? And Game Week 33 and 37 later on we will see are good times to use the free hit as well. So let's move on with the next segment about the predicted fixtures in the coming game weeks. Alright guys, so on the screen right now I have the list of predicted fixtures from Game Week 31 up till Game Week 37. And I've come up with this list after listening to Planet FPL Pod and also cross-referencing some information from Ben Krellin, our fixture man. So without them, this fixture list wouldn't have been possible, so massive props to them. I've actually made a video on this highlighting what this actually means for us moving forward into the rest of the season. So if you want to, I'll put the link to this video at the end of the video so you can check that out. But talking a bit about the free hit chip now, because that's what's relevant to us in this video. If we take a look at Game Week 33, right, there are a number of teams that double. There are also 2 confirmed blanks, so Wolves and Leeds both blank. So another opportunity there with Game Week 33 being both a blank and a double game week. Another opportunity to use a free hit there to maximize the doubles and take the players who mostly are in our teams right now, right? Leeds and Wolves players mostly fill our teams, and if we free hit in 33, that can help us get out of that situation. So that's Game Week 33. Now if we take a look at Game Week 36 and 37, Game Week 36 is a big double game week. So we can see about as many as 12 teams predicted to double. So most of us would load up on these assets, right? And apart from Chelsea and Leicester, who also double in Game Week 37, we won't really have Leeds, Norwich or Wolves players in our teams. So basically, these 2 game weeks are good opportunities to use the free hit as well. So some things to consider in terms of opportunity cost, etc. But once again, if we have decided on using this free hit chip, then let's move on and take a look at the fixtures for Game Week 30 and how we can maximize this free hit chip for our benefit. So on the screen right now are the 4 fixtures that we've mentioned just now that will take place in Game Week 30. So Wolves and Leeds, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Leicester, Brentford, and Spurs versus West Ham. So what I've done is I've taken the odds from Drafttown and I've kind of collated it in this graphic. So as we can see from a big picture perspective, out of all these fixtures, we have some favorites and we also have some teams that are predicted to not do as well. So going with the team with the highest win percentage first, Leicester actually has the highest win percentage and they are most probable to win Brentford, and then followed by Spurs, and then Wolves, followed by Arsenal. So talking about the clean sheets wise, Leicester also happens to be the team that are most probable to keep a clean sheet against Brentford. I mean, probably also because Brentford don't really score a lot of goals and haven't been of late. And in terms of the other teams, Wolves, Spurs, and also Arsenal are slated to keep clean sheets as well. So if we kind of shape our teams according to these predictions and kind of thoughts that the bookies have, then we can actually kind of maximize the value that we can get out of our team if we free hit. But of course, these are just interesting and good for us to consider, but definitely not something that we should just follow blindly, because apart from the statistics, there is always the eye test, there is always gut feel, and there are always players in form and out of form that we do have to take into consideration as well. But I think this can be helpful in terms of how we generally want to shape our team. So let's move on to the last part of this video, where we will finally talk about the team that I've put together based on some of these statistics, and also looking at some form players and based on the eye test, and kind of put together this draft that hopefully helps you guys to maximize the number of points you can get from Game Week 30 Free Hit. Alright guys, so on the screen right now finally is my Game Week 30 Free Hit team. I'm sure you guys have been waiting for it for quite a while right now, but I just wanted to make sure that we consider all the factors before making this free hit team. So the squad value is 101.6 mil. Most of us should be able to get to this team value, so it shouldn't be a problem, but if we need to, we can just downgrade a few players, as I'll mention later on in this draft. So let's get straight into this team, and at the back I've gone for Sa in goal. I think Wolves are in store for some clean sheet points against Leeds, because Leeds haven't been looking very strong in the attack as well. Rafinha owners will know that his returns have been non-existent of late, right? So Leeds have been poor in attack, and I think with a defense in Wolves that has been a bit shaky of late, but they just kept a clean sheet against Watford, so they could very well keep another clean sheet against Leeds as well. So I'm kind of favor Wolves actually, and I think so much so that I actually double on Wolves in defense. So I've gone for Cody in defense as well. And alongside him, I've gone Tierney, Soyuncu, and Doherty. So most of these players, as you guys can see, are from teams that are predicted to keep clean sheets. So I like to diversify the defense so that in the event that any one of these defenses let in a careless goal, we have the rest of them who are also predicted to keep clean sheets, right? So in that way, we can kind of maximize and just take lesser risk. And in midfield, I've gone for Harvey Barnes, I've gone for Saka, Son, and Maddison. So straight off the bat, you can see I've gone for 2 Leicester attackers. I think the win percentage for Leicester is pretty high, and I actually think that in terms of playing at home against Brentford, I think they are in store for some good returns. Harvey Barnes also is a very good form player right now. He's looking really sharp. Got a goal recently as well, picked up in form, got some assists as well. So I think against Brentford, he is in store for some returns. And then of course, when we talk about Leicester, it's hard to not mention Maddison, because he is always involved in and around the goal, right? He either gets assists or gets the goal himself. So I think in terms of Maddison, it is important that we have him so that we have some Leicester coverage from a really good playmaker for Leicester as well. And then I've gone for Saka and Son as well, because Saka is kind of Arsenal's best attacking asset to have at this point in time, and if they are going to win Aston Villa, I think Saka would definitely be involved. And then I've gone for Son. I'll talk about Son together with Kane later on. So up front we have Jimenez and Kane, right? So I've gone for Son and Kane because if we take a look at Tottenham's attack, they have been really strong, and I think that Son and Kane have kind of revived their partnership of late, and it's been really good showing from them in the attack. So I think against West Ham, who have kind of a weakened defense, because most of their defenders, their first choice defenders, are injured, right? So Son and Kane, I think they are in store for some returns, and Kane, I feel kind of edges Son in terms of captaincy, so I'm putting the armband on him. And then as for Jimenez, I think previously some of us have been talking about how his minutes could have been managed because he was dropping out of the starting 11 and we were getting a bit worried. But his goal against Watford, I think, have kind of stabilized our fears, and I think against Leeds, he is most likely going to start, right? And I think that against a defense that hasn't been performing the whole season, I think Jimenez could be in store for some returns there. And then on the bench, if we take a look, we have Ramsdale, Coutinho, Antonio, and Cash. So Ramsdale, I don't think we would have to call upon him. And actually, those of us who feel like Ramsdale is a better option than Salah, we could very well just start Ramsdale instead, right? Good options, and I think for to include both of these keepers and still keep the squad value at 101.6 mil, I think is very affordable. And then as for the other three bench players, there's Coutinho, Antonio, and Cash. So I've kept both of the Aston Villa players on the bench, even though they are form players right now. They have been getting good returns. And in game week 28, they did really well, both of them. But I'm keeping them on the bench because I feel like against Arsenal, who are a really strong team right now, I don't think that defensively Aston Villa can cope with Arsenal's attack. And also, in terms of attacking sense, I think Arsenal's defense have been pretty okay of late, so I don't foresee Coutinho getting too much joy as well. So that's why they both are on the bench. Of course, those of us with gut feels thinking that Aston Villa could be in for an upset against Arsenal, then you guys can start Coutinho instead. And then lastly, for the last attacker, I've gone for Antonio, right? Just for some West Ham coverage in case we need to call on an attacker. I think Antonio is a good option. West Ham currently only have him as a decent attacking option. We could, of course, go for Benrahma, but that would take up a really important midfield slot for us. So I think in terms of strikers, so there aren't really much options. So Antonio kind of fits the bill. So if we need to call on him, we can very well just call on him. And I think against Spurs, even though Spurs are predicted to win, if West Ham get a goal, then Antonio could be the one to get it. So in general, I think this team covers most of the predicted teams that are going to win in Game Week 30. But of course, you know, it is football and is subjected to change. But I think this team kind of maximized the potential that we can actually get from this free hit team in Game Week 30. So I hope this video was useful for you guys. And this team kind of gives you guys a draft to start tinkering with. And I think as much as possible, if we are able to stick to this structure of mostly players from these teams that are, you know, probably going to perform well, then I think we're pretty okay, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Help me out and give it a like. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. It helps the channel out massively, more than you guys can imagine. And I will see you guys very soon in another video. Bye bye.